Good afternoon. I wanted to create a quick video for Chapter 7. I didn't really feel there was anything in Chapter 6 that needed a video for. However, as you're going through it, if you find something that's confusing, please ask and I'll get a video done for you rather quickly. After Chapter 7, we will be getting ready for our first test over Word. So make sure you're taking some time if you finish Chapter 6 and 7 quickly to look through all the chapters. There's a study guide on the home page under handouts you can start practicing. Chapter 7 is tables. To do a table, I'm going to go to Insert, Table. And I could choose to use the grid and create my table. Typically, I just go to Insert Table, and I will put in how many I want. I'm going to do 5 and 5. To move around a table, you can use Tab, you can use arrows, you can use your mouse. Shift Tab will reverse you from one cell to the next. The intersection of a row and a column is called a cell. Columns are vertical, rows are horizontal. If I click on the outside of the row or the column and my I-beam turns into an arrow, that means I'm in the selection bar, and I can click and it will select it. I can click all the way down, or this handy thing right here will select the whole table. When I get to the very last cell of a table, if I press Tab, it'll add a row for me. When I select the first row, as I did right here, I'm going to use it for my title. So if I want a title, typically I'm going to want to merge. Now, the nice thing about tables is 98% of the things you need to do to a table can be found in the table tools, either the Design tab or the Layout tab. In the Layout tab, I have merged cells. I can also choose to make that cell a little bit wider, and I could have done it by using the height or just drag like I did. I'm going to move my insertion point or my alignment to the middle. And then go ahead and I'm going to type in my schedule. And this is kind of what you need to do for your assignments. It says to create a class schedule. I do want to make sure everybody knows that obviously with online there's no set time, but maybe you know you work on this class every day from 9 till 10 p.m. Well, then just pencil it in. Also, I know some people have a full-time job and maybe this is the only class they're taking. Well, go ahead and just create a schedule. You can put your work schedule in there and your lunch break and whatever. Just create a schedule. Play with tables is really what I need you to do. I'm not that picky about it. Now remember, I said 98% of the things I need to do I can do in these two tabs. One thing that I have to go away from these two tabs for is to go ahead and go to my home tab and change fonts and size and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to change the color too. We're going to make it, we're kind of in the fall theme. So, and then I'm going to go back to layout and maybe I'll choose to shade it. And I'll show you later, we can use these table styles and I'll use it in a different one. And in your assignment, you can choose to do that, but I like to kind of play with my own colors and things once in a while. I would obviously normally just type the days of the week for a schedule. And you could lay it out however you want. If you want the hours of the day up here and the days of the week going vertical, that's completely up to you. This is just for practice, and I'm not even going to put in a whole schedule. But I do want to show you a couple features like text direction. Now, text direction works. See how it did that? What I should have done is merged first this column and then change the text direction and the alignment. And then maybe I want to make this smaller. And again, for your schedule, you might not do it this way, but I just wanted to show you how you can play with text direction and how it works best if you go ahead and merge things first. Another thing that I really kind of wanted to show you is the AutoFit. When you're done with a table, a lot of times you've got more white space than you need. And in the Layout tab, the AutoFit's kind of a really nice little feature. Look how little it made it because I have no text. The problem with AutoFit is once you do it, it seems to move it over to the left, where sometimes you want your table centered in the space. So you need to make sure after you've done that to go ahead and in the properties, I can choose the alignment of my whole table to be centered, and it'll center it back on my page. Again, this just for showing you some things. A couple other things in alignment. They could deal with the row, the height, the column width, a little bit with the vertical alignment. A lot of these things I showed you can be done right here through this. The height and the width can be done right here. You can go to properties, but usually it can be done within the tab also. I have another worksheet up here that I want to show you some of the formulas that can be done. Typically we do use Excel for formulas, and that's our next unit, and you'll see all about it, but there are some formulas in tables. And again, in the layout tab, if I'm looking for the total of all these numbers, I go to the total, click on the FX, the formula on the right hand side, and it just says equal sum of what's above the insertion point, which is what I want. Click OK. Plain, simple, done. I'm going to do that for all these. And that's what it has you do in the book. Remember, everything in the book can be seen on the test in these chapters. So make sure you're going through the sample problem. In Chapter 7, there's no assessments. It's just the schedule. But it's good practice to look at the assessments and to make sure you've gone through that whole sample. We're approaching a test coming up here. Will be the next week. We'll be working on the test from chapters 1 through 7. There is a study guide inside of my MTI in the handout section, so please go and look over that. Last thing I want to show you is some of the table styles. I selected the whole table, and then I could go and choose. There's so many fun different ones, and I could look at it and I don't like what that did. I'm going to try this one. Should deselect. No, not a big fan of the purple. Let's go back to the orange. Kind of like the orange, but it's missing some things that I would like, so I'm going to keep looking. I'm a big green fan, so maybe I end up liking this one. Again, totally up to you. I might look at it and say, hey, you know what, maybe I should AutoFit it and see what that does to it. Made it a little smaller, but again, it shifted it to the left. So I'm going to go to my properties in the table and center it. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed learning briefly about tables. Please go through the sample and let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.